You might be too young to remember this crazy situation. Back in 1983, the number one girls selling toy at the holiday season was the Cabbage Patch doll. It was nuts back then, because literally all of the big stores like Sears, JCPenney's, Toys R Us, yeah, they were all still big businesses back then. There were riots in the stores. The stores were being allocated just a few hundred dolls to each store. But there were literally thousands of people who were trying to get those dolls, making it a top news story. In some locations, there were violent reactions. I mean, almost riots. It was crazy. However, on the boys' side of toys in 1983, the number one selling toy was a radio-controlled three-wheeled replica of a Honda ATC 250 called the Dust Runner. And I happen to know this because I was the International Vice President of Sales and Marketing for that Japanese toy company, Shinsei Corporation. This made me somewhat of a minor legend in the toy industry. Don't get me wrong, though. We did not sell the millions of toys that the Cabbage Patch doll did. But we did have great success in 1983. The interesting thing, and one of the first really big lessons that I learned about how business works, is that when you are successful at something and you start to get noticed, other people want to copy your success. And sure enough, the next year there was another Japanese company called Nico that produced a model similar to the Dust Runner. As a result, our sales ended up going down quite a bit. This was my first experience of being copied when I was successful. It's interesting because when I work with corporations in a consulting mode, when I speak to audiences across the globe, I hear similar complaints. People say, "Hey, Steve, you know what? We come up with these really great new ideas, and then our competition goes out and copies what we do." Actually, what they say is they steal what we do. Success attracts attention. That's the nature of the beast, unfortunately. And if it can be copied, if it appears to be successful, then it will be copied. And yet the inherent problem is nobody buys from you because you're similar to the competition. Why is this a problem? Well, it's a problem because we have to separate ourselves from the competition. And traditionally, we've done that using the quality of the product or the customer service that we offer to our customer base. Nowadays, however, those are the ante to be in the game, not differentiators. The quality of our products has to be very, very good. Our customer service has to be very, very good. And because technology is essentially commoditizing everything, the one factor that our customers use now to make their buying decision ends up being price. And nobody wants that. We have to remember that the competitors are always watching, and they are very, very smart. They're watching us, they're watching our other competitors, they're watching everybody within the industry. And if we come up with an idea that's a little better than the competition, but it can be copied, it will be copied. On the flip side, I have to admit, several years later, after I'd moved to Seattle, Washington, I was consulting for a company called Bright Blocks. Yeah, Bright Blocks was simply a knockoff of Legos. Yeah, they were bigger versions of Legos, but essentially, they were knockoffs. Here I was, being guilty of doing the same thing, of knocking off somebody who is successful. So what we need to recognize is this is a problem in the world of business today. Instead of copying, we need to separate ourselves from the competition in ways that differentiate us, that show we are unique, that show we are extremely relevant and extremely valuable to our customer base. But there is a big problem, though. It's hard to do. It's very hard to do. But there are great examples out there for us to look at and even study. Examples like Disney World, American Girl, Apple, and many, many more. These are examples of companies who are being very, very successful at separating themselves from the crowd in unique and differentiating fashion. And that's what you need to do too. So, who am I? You might not know me. My name is Steve Miller. I'm better known as Kelly's dad and marketing gunslinger. And I am the author of the Amazon #1 bestseller, UNCOPYABLE, How to Create an Unfair Advantage Over Your Competition. I've got a really interesting background, which has enabled me to develop a very unique perspective towards business marketing and branding. My father was a co-inventor of the 8-track tape player back in the 60s, if you're old enough to remember that. I played professional golf for a while. I actually tried playing on the PGA Tour. That didn't work. I didn't succeed. And I ended up working in Hollywood for a college buddy of mine. Later, I moved into sales. And my first job was for a radio station, KIKX-AM, in Tucson, Arizona. That first sales job was an unmitigated disaster because I had never sold before and I was out there doing all the wrong things. I was pushing, pressuring people, thinking that that's what you were supposed to do. And it wasn't what you were supposed to do, of course. But it was a very valuable lesson I learned a lot from. And as I rose into sales and marketing, and ultimately to that position of Vice President of International Sales and Marketing for Shinsei, I realized that my eclectic experience enabled me to see things differently. One of the things I learned was that copying other companies, copying other businesses and products was a losing proposition. It's all well and good to understand what everybody's doing to maintain your level of competitiveness within your marketplace, because you have to know how you are doing compared to the competition. You have to have a minimum viable product as compared to the competition. But when the customer has multiple options available for them to solve a problem, a challenge, a goal, a new project, an aspiration, then we have to find ways to differentiate ourselves. Now, my unique world perspective has allowed me to see new ways of thinking about this. And one conclusion was that we must become uncopyable as possible in the marketplace. We must create an attachment with our customers they simply do not want to lose. And unfortunately, that's easier said than done. Big problem is you're playing in the same box as everybody else. By playing in the same box, we tend to be seeing the same things. We go to the same trade shows and conferences as everybody else. We read the same trade magazines, the same books. We spend a great deal of our time, if not most, with people who are also in the same industry, the same box. And so we tend to develop a fairly blinkered view of the world. We all need to be able to step outside of this box. And I don't mean just to get out of the box, but to develop our own box where we are going to write the rules of competition, where we're going to create and deliver situations and solutions and experiences our customers find to be very unique, distinctively valuable to them, that only we can deliver. And once we're able to do that, well, when we can write the rules of competition, it makes it difficult, if not impossible, for competitors to beat us. So how can you make yourself uncopyable? Well, let's cut the slack here, right? And say the first thing is you've got to go read my book. And if you haven't read my book, Uncopyable, go to the link that's outside this video right now. Get it? Read it. It's very fast reading. The concepts are simple, but you'll be surprised at how it will open your eyes and change your perspective of competitive marketing and branding. Don't take my word for it that this book is valuable. Read this small, or listen to this small sample of the type of quotes people are leaving as reviews on Amazon. Jennifer Lambert said, "This book is incredible. Not only is it an easy read, I think I read the whole thing in about 3 or 4 hours, but it gets the point across like a bolt of lightning. I'm so grateful that a client told me about it, and I've recommended it personally to quite a few people as well. Thanks, Jennifer." Mel Poole said, "Steve Miller's superpower is his ability to sit outside the sphere of what's normal and to share powerful and practical connections to value that others can't see. The book is a quick read that's packed with innovative and valuable insights. My favorite is on page 12. Competition breeds conformity." Ooh, a superpower. I like that. Thanks, Mel. Phil Smith said, "An unbelievably useful book. Just starting my own business, Steve's advice came at a perfect time. The stealing genius strategy has me on the prowl." That's pretty cool, Phil. Thanks. And John B. Spence wrote, A very solid book that helps you understand that to win in the marketplace, you need to be a category of one. It's not just about being better than your competition. It's about being different in a way that is highly valuable to your target customers. This is a great book to read because it challenges you to rethink the way you position your business compared to the competition. Wow. I really appreciate that, John. It's extremely gratifying to read these and the hundreds more glowing comments about Uncopyable. Our objective is and will continue to be to help you shift your perception of marketing and branding, thus achieving fantastic success. But I understand this can be very difficult. Like someone much smarter than me once said, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. And that's why we created our Gold Inner Circle. Learning how to see your marketing and branding with new eyes takes a long time. It takes a singular focus. You already have a full-time job, and I'm pretty darn sure you don't have a lot of extra time in your day to work on this. But because you're still watching this, I'm quite positive you want to embrace the uncopyable philosophy. We can help you with that. You want fresh thinking and thought starters. You want examples and case studies. Then on top of that, you need regular idea generators and triggers. You want to know what you can do that will help you be more successful. And we're going to help you do just that. The very best way, of course, would be to hire me as your uncopyable gunslinger for personal consulting and coaching. I'd love that. And of course, I would be very happy to do that. If you're interested, you can contact us. But to be perfectly honest, I'm expensive. Most companies simply don't have the budget to bring me in. There is, however, another much less expensive way for you to have me on your team. Along with my smoking hot wife, Kay, we have created a monthly subscription where you get access to a ton of information, a ton of content we've produced together to help you be more successful. Let me tell you a little bit about what we have for you in our Gold Inner Circle. Number one, probably the most important of all, is a thing that I call my monthly office hours. Every month, I get on live on a webinar, and I invite all the Gold Inner Circle members to join me. During each office hour, I do a short presentation, 30 minutes or so, where I talk about some topic that's going to be very, very helpful to you. I always talk about a specific marketing or branding tactic or tool you can use to generate more leads and or maintain long-term relationships. Past topics currently archived in the Gold Inner Circle library include how to create uncopyable shock and awe promotions. This is one of my favorite tools to use. Oh man, in fact, it just helped me land a new publisher and where I signed for two new books. How to increase referrals by making customers rock stars. Most companies don't have a formalized referral marketing strategy, and yet the average client, the average BFF that we have in our stable tells us that roughly 48% of their business every year comes from referrals. Why don't you have a formalized thing? We're going to help you with that. How to create the rules of competition. When you can create rules that force the competition to follow you, then you take control of the marketplace. How to write headlines and subject lines that get opened. The most difficult thing to do is, especially in like email or even direct mail, is to get people to open the emails, to get them to open the envelope. That's the first step. And so your headlines and your subject lines are really what's going to make a big difference. How to select the right media for you. This is kind of one that just bugs me a lot. The vast majority of companies out there keep doing media first. They keep going out and they say they have a shiny object. Ooh, Instagram is really, really cool. Ooh, I heard about something called TikTok. That's really cool. We need to do that. No, you need to pick the right media that fits your exact right target market. You only care about media where they are already paying attention to, that they're already paying attention to. That's what you want. And another example, how to create uncopyable holiday promotions. These are really fun to do. Office hours is also your opportunity to ask me specific questions, either live or you can send them to me in advance, and I'll answer them during the program. In addition to live office hours, the replay is then put into your personal library. We not only provide just the video replay for you, but we also provide the audio so you can download and listen to it on your smartphone or whatever device you use. But that's not all. We also provide a transcript of the monthly office hours. So if you prefer to read about it and make notes from there, you can do that as well. But you know what? Office hours isn't the only thing we have inside the Gold Inner Circle. We have many interviews with very, very smart entrepreneurs, business leaders, consultants, and experts from all different industries. We've got interviews with best-selling authors like Shep Hyken, who's one of the top customer service experts on the planet. Google him. Mark Sanborn, who wrote the multi-million seller The Fred Factor. Tom Shane, founder of the incredibly successful direct diamond importer Shane Company. This was an amazing, outstanding interview. Even my smoking hot wife, Kay. You know what? Before Kelly was born, Kay was the #1 muffler salesperson in the world. She knows how to sell. I used to call her Muffler Mama. And every Tuesday morning, you're going to get an email from Kay with something that's going to be helpful for you. What we'll do is, one of the Tuesday emails will be what we call our swipe file, where Kay provides a specific example of a great marketing or branding idea or tool or tactic you can swipe and adapt for your own use. Another Tuesday email will be a case study or example of a company that is doing things that we feel are uncopyable. And you can get ideas from that too. You'll get access to extra bonuses, including several of my products that are for sale to the public, but they are included as yours to use as you wish inside the Gold Inner Circle. You also get discounts on new products that we produce and live events like our recent Uncopyable boot camp in Seattle. Everything is in one convenient library for you to access. And we're adding more content every single month. So think of it as I'm your outside advisor. I'm your guy. I am your own uncopyable gunslinger. And instead of spending thousands of dollars hiring me, although I wouldn't mind it, this is your chance to get ideas and thought starters that will stimulate you to be able to go out and generate more leads. Get more business, get more referrals, and grow your business. The Gold Inner Circle membership is only $57 per month. That's it. You spend more than that on lunch with the gang. All you need to do is be a member of the Gold Inner Circle. And if you join right now, you can take it for a 30-day test drive. Your first month is free, a gift from Kay and me. You can cancel at any time during the first month, and there will be no charge to you. And after 30 days, your credit card will be billed $57 each month, again, cancelable at any time. So here's the choice. You can keep fighting the we can be better than them short-term vicious circle, or you can differentiate your company in a way that is relevantly and valuably unique from your competition. You can build an advantage that creates customer attachment. Be uncopyable. Join right now. Just click the link below.